Hello and welcome to this parallel park animation video. We're going to look at the animation first for the reference points and the way we steer, and then we're going to go into a live POV shot at the end, which will give you more of a perspective from an actual driving position. So the first thing we need to think about when we're doing the parallel park is the set off. We will be pulled over before the vehicle that we're going to use. So in this case, it's the red car, and we'll be pulled up before that vehicle. So we must make sure we do our normal set off checks. So we're using the POM routine: preparation, observations and move. We're making sure that nothing is coming up or down the road before we pull up next to the target vehicle, which is the red one, because imagine we'll be blocking the road off. So once we've established it's clear, we're going to pull up next to the vehicle and we're going to leave roughly 1 meter away from it so that the door could be opened and someone could get in or out of that vehicle. At this point, we want to stop our vehicle so that we are level at the rear of the vehicle to the furthest point, the rear in this case, of the red vehicle. At this point then, what do you do if someone appears? So someone comes around a corner or comes out of a junction that you didn't initially see. So signals are really important. If we put the car into reverse, we put on the reverse light, so the vehicles approaching from behind will understand what we're doing. Or if there's someone coming towards us, we can put on our left indicator, which would obviously signal that we were pulling over. On test, it is a bit strange because we tend to pull up and parallel park round a vehicle that hasn't got anything behind it. So it does look a bit odd to other road users. So don't be surprised if they get a bit close to you before they realise what you're actually intending to do. Now, when we get to this point then, we're going to start the manoeuvre and we're going to do our first turn. Some people struggle with which way to turn. So we're going to do a little bit of that now, a bit of theory on that. But if you don't struggle with this, then feel free to skip this part of the video and go to the next chapter and we'll pick up where we left off here. So as you can see, if we turn our wheels to the right, we would expect the vehicle to drive forwards to the right. That makes sense, doesn't it? When we're reversing then, we're going to get the curvature, as you can see represented by the red line. The car will reverse back and also go to the right, as you can see. Now, where some people get confused is they think if they turn the wheel to the left, that the car will go to the direction that the wheel is facing. But remember, the wheel going forward would take us to the left, which means in reverse, it would take us also to the left. The yellow arrow represents what people think in their mind, but watch as I play this animation forward, how weird the front wheels look and how weird they move across the road. This, of course, would not happen. So, as you can see there, it makes sense to think about the forward momentum before you think about the reverse. Or quite simply, just think of it, if you want to go to the right, you turn to the right. So this bit's for you. If you were struggling with that, let's straighten the wheels back up again. And if we turn the wheels to the left, which way do you think the vehicle would go? Put a note in the comments now. And if this helped you, obviously, remember to like the video. But let's see if you were right. Of course, the vehicle will go to the left, because it's going to follow the arc, the curvature of the road to the left. So I hope you found that useful, and the next part you can tell that we're going to be turning our turn to the left. So we're going to turn one wheel turn to the left. It's really important at this point that we check all around the vehicle, so our blind spots and also what's coming up or down the road. And if something is approaching us at this point, we wouldn't start to move if we felt like they could fit through the gap down the side of the vehicle. But once we've established it's clear and we're happy, we can start moving backwards till we reach a 45-degree angle, roughly, which will put us on the right path towards the curb behind us. We take our turn off. So as you can see, we did one turn to the right. Now, at this point, what you'll notice in the left mirror is you'll see a triangle shape in your mirror. Now, obviously different cars, this might look slightly different in your vehicle, but that triangle shape is usually visible in most vehicles that I've taught in, and my missus also benefits from this way of doing it as well. So the triangle is large at the minute and we're at about a 45-degree angle. Then what we're going to do is we're going to reverse backwards so that we get closer to the curb. As you can see in this demonstration, that the blind spot checks at this point are really vital because that green car is perfectly over your shoulder where you can't see. So make sure you check your blind spots, make sure that if there is anyone approaching that they have stopped before you start to move. Now when we reverse back then, the two yellow lines represent the triangle that we can see in our mirror. As we go backwards, the triangle will get smaller, as you can see in this demonstration, and then there'll be an image which will show you that as well, which will look a little bit like this. So you can see big triangle in the left image, and you can see small triangle in the right image. Okay, when we get this really small triangle, that is telling us that we're around the point where we can start to turn the wheel to the right, which will send the vehicle round in that arc to the right that we talked about. And at this point, it's really vital that we check those blind spots again, because the green car, as soon as they get room to come through, they will start to push forward. A lot of people don't wait. So this is a critical moment really where you could easily miss that information. So keep checking. A little tip here for the parallel park is if you do your window down a tiny little bit, you can also hear them as well. So it's something to think about if you remember. But we've turned our wheel to the right. We're going to let this green car go past because he's probably got to be somewhere. And then as you'll notice, we come round that final part now to where we're straight with the curb. And at this point, we're going to turn one turn back to the left. So you can see at each turn, we've only ever turned one turn, and each turn is at a specific point. So we have 4 reference points to follow, which also gives us 4 opportunities to look round. So it's a really good method to use. My pupils love this method. And some of the ways you remember the sequence of turns is LRR, Little Red Riding Hood. Random as hell, but people love that and they seem to remember it. Once we're happy, then it's clear, we're going to select gear 1. We're going to, of course, do our POM routine again, just in case there's an approaching vehicle. And then we'll be moving off from the side of the road after doing our normal blind spot checks. Now, one thing we have to watch out for here is our clearance from the red vehicle. We don't want to be too close to that red vehicle as we move away. So make sure you clear nice and slowly, but get a good bit of distance. And away we go. Now we're going to move on now to the live in-car shots, and hopefully this will fill in any blanks that the animation didn't do. If you enjoyed the way this animation plays out and the narration through it, please hit the like button just to let me know that I'm doing the right thing, and I'll do more of these. Or if you prefer the in-car shots, then I'll do more of those. But thanks for watching, and let's move on to the POV shots now. So we're going to first of all check the mirrors and make sure that everything is looking good. All the blind spot checks as per usual. I'm going to be moving my head very slowly, so you can do this a lot quicker, but I just don't want to make everyone feel a little bit nauseous. So we're going to pull down to the vehicle and we're going to pull up next to the vehicle, indicating as we pull in if anyone is around, but I'll do it just for demonstration. And we're going to stop so that the rear of the vehicle is level at the back. We're going to select reverse and we're going to secure the vehicle, and as you can see there is a vehicle coming up behind me, so I'll wait for this vehicle to pass. Once that vehicle is gone, I'm going to do a full check round, make sure no one else is passing, and I'm going to turn one turn to the left whilst moving backwards. Now I'm looking in the left mirror, and what I want to see is a triangle form in that left mirror, like that. You can see the triangle is formed, and also we're at about a 45-degree angle. I'm going to take the turn off, and I'm going to progress back a little bit more. I'm mindful of the oncoming vehicle. If he starts to come around me, I will stop. But I'm going back now until the triangle on the left gets really small. Okay, I'm going to pause now because she wants to come past. And as you can see in the triangle in the left mirror now, it's getting smaller at the bottom of the mirror there. So I'm going to go back a little bit more. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller until it gets really small. And I'm going to stop about there. Now, a second reference point that I can use in this vehicle is that if this vehicle reversed backwards now, it would hit this door frame near my mirror on this left-hand side. So at that point, I know I'm about at the right area to do my right turn. So I do one turn, to the right. Okay, I'm checking around again, and I can see another vehicle coming past, so I'm going to wait for that vehicle. Once he's passed, I am going to move back slowly with this one turn on, and you'll notice that it starts to bring the car round level with the silver vehicle, and I'm straightening up when the car looks straight down the left mirror about there. Okay, now again another vehicle approaching, so I'm pausing, but I'm about at the point I want to be at, and I'd be pretty happy with that on my driving test. The distance on the left doesn't have to be really close. You want to leave a little bit of room so that if you make a mistake, you're not going to hit the curb. If you feel like you're going to hit the curb, you can take the vehicle forward again and then come back again. So let me demonstrate that to you now. So if I drive the vehicle forward when it's clear. So let's say on our turn, when we went forward, we came back too far. So let's get the angle back. So let's say I reversed back, and as I was coming back, I was distracted by something that was happening. And before I know it, I've come back and I'm obviously way too close to the curb. So rather than trying to carry on now, it's be quite risky to do because I know I'm too close to the curb. What you can do on your driving test, you can correct the maneuver by moving back forwards again. You must make sure you have a good look round. That's the only thing. Don't move forward unless you've checked. And then just move forward slowly to get the triangle or the reference point in this left mirror and that car coming back to there. And then just reapply and go again. Checking round. Now this time I know that I'm on track and I should end up where I want to finish the maneuver, which is next to the curb. Okay, and then I one turn back to there and stop. So it's okay to correct the maneuver as long as you keep your observations going, and obviously try not to mount the curb if you're going backwards. Stop before that happens, push forwards to a reference point that you remember. It could be 2 reference points forward. You could even start the whole maneuver again, but just make sure you keep your observations going throughout, and then you should be good. After you've finished then, the examiner will ask you to move on when you're ready. So we're going to get ready. We're going to do our POM routine. So preparation, observations, make sure it's clear, and then maneuver. It's particularly important when you're moving away that you don't get too close to the vehicle and also avoid the curb on the opposite side. So keep the vehicle nice and slow. This video is part of a 4-video sequence, all on the maneuvers that you could get on your driving test. So if you found this one helpful, then make sure you check out this one next.